Hello?
Up, buddy?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good.
Just checking our
Making
group
sure we're
page. It's
all
on there. Yeah. I had
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
I can.
You can.
Here we go. Yeah. I guess he can't hear me.
I can't hear you, but now I can.
Okay. The past couple of weeks, we haven't been able to get comments displayed. Notice that?
Were there comments being made?
Yeah, there was a few here and there, and I fixed it.
All right.
I fixed it. So now
think,
people have something to say. It'll show up.
Boy, it sure would be good for people to say something.
Yeah, it's
I know.
it's a hit or miss thing, but we're still doing good with the after views.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised with what's happening with the ongoing views, the sharing, the like.
Yeah.
Visits to the group are up. People, if you go back in there, you can actually see countries that they're visiting from, and there's some I can't, recall them off the top of my head, but I mean, I wonder if it's actually they're in those countries or their IP address is bouncing off of something. Right?
I'm sure they have what is it?
Masking,
a VPN.
Right.
That's what I actually have. That's why sometimes it cuts in and out. So for a while, I was in Canada.
Yeah,
it would show I was in Canada, but the problem with that is when it refreshes, it's a delay because it's another country. So now I'm in like I don't know, Little Rock, Arkansas or something. I don't know, some dirt water town. But so we got a couple things tonight.
Yeah.
We get my pretty much, you could say, lifelong friend. I've known our guest for so I'm 59, so I've known him for 50 years.
Did he graduate with you?
No, he graduated ahead of me. But we all knew each other. Like, he grew up in the same area. He was in Igno. He was in the Highlands kid. Yep. So, but yeah, I've known him. Holy smokes. You look back at that and you're like, oh man. Now you start to feel, I'll be 59 in 2 weeks. So
my experiences with Mike have been back in my days of hanging out at the yacht club, and
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So let's talk about it for a second. Everybody knows, everyone that lives in Winthrop knows that there's a big flag that flies out at the Sisters, and it's been there. We're gonna get the whole story from the man that originated this. Let's bring him on. It's the Mike Hammerman. What's up, buddy?
Hey, good evening.
Oh, hold on. Let me give you this. Enough of that.
What you gonna do?
What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Todd?
Mike, thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Short notice, by the way. Short notice.
Yeah,
very short notice.
A couple of hours ago, right?
I pulled a friend favor on this one.
Yeah, he pulled that rabbit out of his hat.
We have this further proof we are not organized or great planners.
Yeah, It's like, hey, can you get? Yeah, let me see. We'll check it.
Yeah,
So,
you get Mikey.
Mike, how long have you been? How long has the flag been flying out at the Sisters?
The flag was
11 years.
first put up about 3 days after 9/11.
Okay, all right. And what was? Tell us the thought process, and then the execution of it. I know what triggered it. We all know what triggered it.
Right.
But this is kind of a very unique thing. Like, this was way above and beyond. This was to me, and I wasn't living there, but I saw pictures of it. Right. I got goosebumps right here, and I'm not that goosebumpy kind of guy.
No, you're a lumpy type of guy.
Yeah. But I saw the pictures of it, and I was absolutely impressed by it. So give us the thought process, and then the execution of how this all came about.
The thought was, we were sitting on my front stairs when I owned the house behind the spray, as you and I knew it, Rosetti's. We were drinking a couple beers. My dad, myself, my downstairs neighbor, and he had a friend on one of the planes. So we were a little taken back. We were talking about how quiet the sky was.
Right.
There were no planes.
It was crazy, right? Nothing. It was nuts.
Remember that, Todd?
Oh my God.
There was nothing. It was quiet.
Not to cut you off, Mike, just for a quick add to that, because you're right. It was eerily quiet.
Yes.
And then every now and again you'd hear off in the distance a rumbling.
Yep.
And then the F-16s would just come ripping through. It was crazy.
All right, let me stop on that one. I was working at Miami International Airport, and that place was a ghost town. You want to talk about creepy?
Right.
Yeah.
It was literally a ghost town, and that place has 300 planes, on any given minute, at least 300 planes somewhere. So I experienced that same creepy eeriness, very eerie.
Well, so getting back, and it was so long ago. We're what now? 21 years, and I really forget what we were actually saying, but we were saying to ourselves, like, let's make a statement. Let's do something. And I believe it was my dad who said, we have to plant a flag. And we just looked, took a sip of a Bud Light, drank his Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Oh yeah, this is my dad's favorite too.
But that's exactly
it was terrible.
I actually drink it now as long as it's screaming cold. But anyways, I had a flag from work that we would fly at Deer Island. And when those flags got just a little ripped, they would take them down and I would take them. They were still good. So I had this pole in the backyard, and the three of us just went in my backyard. We just rigged up this pole, some 4x4s, drilled some holes in the metal pole from an old chain link fence, zip tied the flag on. One of my sons was with us, He was, I don't know, 8, 9. And the four of us took this pole and we marched down the beach with some rope. And I believe the tide was on its way out. So we were like shin deep. Of course, we knew the sandbar.
Yeah.
Talk about planning. I mean, we get down to the beach. It's like, well, which breaker? I'm like, well, how about the middle one? Sandbar goes out there. So we walked out there, soaking wet, climbed up. Where should we put it? I said, how about in the middle of the middle breaker? And right there were these 3 huge rocks. And they were angled that if I stuck the pole in there and had the rope pull against, it would stay up.
Wow.
So we were...
That was serendipitous, no?
Yeah. There was... Sands of Iwo Jima.
That's a comparison.
Yeah, you should have filmed it.
We planted the flag. I tied off the pole. My dad wrapped it around a rock, and the flag was flying. My girlfriend at that time had walked out there and took a picture of us 4 with the flag. And
you still have that picture? Do you have that picture?
Jim Polino, I actually let him use that photo for his real estate business.
That's a. Have you ever put that on Facebook?
Yeah, that's.
I actually have the postcard. I can dig it out.
Yeah, post it. Yeah,
single copy.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I'd have to dig it out because right now I have no clue where that is.
That might be our background page on the Winthrop Votes Facebook group.
Yeah, let's do it.
You can find it. So that was, I believe, Thursday or Friday, right after 9/11, and about a month went by, and we had a northeast storm, a good one. It took the flag, it took the pole, wiped everything out. And what was really shocking to me was, and I still don't know who did it, but somebody dropped off even a bigger piece of pipe on my front
Get out of here
porch and said, do it again.
Wow.
So then I sat down and I said, oh, okay, now how am I going to do this?
Now they get engineering involved.
Now
Scotty.
I get into
dilithium crystals.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do was be able to have a 2-piece pole.
Why? Why a 2-piece?
Well, if you look out there now, and if you look really close, the base is still out there.
I see.
The second piece slides in a piece of pipe.
Yeah.
There's 2 holes. We bolt it. So we're not taking out a 25-foot piece of pipe. We're only taking out like a 12-foot piece of pipe. That's it. Because let me tell you, if it's windy, it's heavy, and you only got 2 people, it's not easy out there. It's not easy. So I actually sat down, designed a 2-piece pole where one piece just slides in, locks in, and probably up until I want to say about the first 3 or 4 years, every time the flag was ruined, I would replace it. Well, I was going through probably 5, 6 flags a year. And this was 12 months a year. So I'm out there at this time of the year, freezing, doing this with my kids. And you're nuts.
Well, Mike, were you getting help? Were you getting help with to buy the flags?
No, because the flags were given to me because people knew that I did that. And they were always like, do you need money? I said, no, I just wanted to do it as cheap and as low it cost as I could. I mean, if it cost me a couple of bucks for bolts or some wire ties, really, I got that stuff out of work. So, you know what I mean?
51 working days, by the way. Kidding. Good luck.
He's kidding.
He's kidding. Work. I want to say it was the third pole. My big boss in work said, whatever you need, go take it.
That's great.
Flag back up there. And it just rolled on. So after about the third year, I would go out there on Veterans Day, and I would take the flag down.
Right.
Because it just wasn't worth it. Me going out there, the ice, the wind, it was crazy.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Seasonal now.
So you take it down for the winter almost. Yeah.
Right. So then come springtime, after we have those winds in March, April, and it was usually the first week of May, the wind would settle down, and I'd go out there and I'd put that flag right back up, and you'd have all the yays and thank yous. And I really never expected to be noticed for this, but everyone knew I did it, and I there was lots of times I actually said it wasn't me. They just looked at me and just laughed. But
well, I mean, you did something. I mean, it's really like amazing that you thought of this, and you took the time, you made the effort, you actually it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Some people
still not easy.
Yeah, some people would be like, it was good for a couple of years, but that's it. But you've been putting it up every year.
Yep.
So you've been putting it up for about 21 years now?
Well, since 2016, when I joined the American Legion.
Okay.
Now the Legion does the flag.
Excellent.
Nice.
Where I am involved with them.
Of course.
Now a group effort.
And so if I now correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but
you're wrong.
I think
you're wrong.
I think I saw, I don't know. I think I saw one time somebody said, of course, on Facebook, how come the flag isn't up? And someone, right? And so I think you said, you might have replied something to the effect of, you go out there in December and do it then.
Yeah. That was a while back.
Yeah.
Come by
I'll never forget that.
You think he said, come by the house, I'll give you the flag.
I mean, so you had somebody, you had somebody that loved it. That was of course, they noticed it and it meant something to them. And they come on and they're like, hey, where's that flag, right? So they're kind of like, what happened here? And I think they might have said it in a way like somebody needs to do this, or it was your obligation.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I don't
and
think it was aimed at you, though. I don't think it was aimed at you, Mike.
You're actually, and Mike, the work actually goes beyond Winthrop. When I was traveling for jobs past, I'd come in on a plane and I'd be looking out. If I'm on that side when the plane was coming in, you could see the flag wavering, and I could hear people looking out the window saying, "Oh wow, look at that flag stuck out on those rock things," because they didn't really know what those things were. And people from far away. And so in a way, you're kind of famous.
I was actually told that a week after the flag was up that it went viral. There was pictures out in California of that flag.
That's it's a beautiful picture.
And my sister, who lives out there, she went like, wait a minute, that's my beach. She was like, whoa. And she called home. She actually called my dad, and my dad said, your brother and I just did that. She was like, it's out here.
Wow. Yeah.
I've also been told that President Bush flying in looked out and said, now who did that? That is one pretty looking thing.
There you go.
I love it.
Like,
there you go.
And that got back to me. I do have some friends from
in high places
back in the day who got to ride Air Force One.
All right.
But
Air Force 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
All good things, all great things start with a conversation, right? And just a small idea. It's like, hey, how about this?
A gesture sometimes. Yeah, on a whim. That was just a gesture. And it's interesting. We're at a time now where I personally think patriotism is needed more than ever. And I think that flag is a good reminder of what it means to be patriotic, frankly.
Right. And with my dad and myself being veterans, making that stand, going out there and doing that and feeling proud and looking at those stars and stripes wave, you get that little tear, and you know what? If they came to Winthrop Beach, well, that was going to be the first thing they saw. And with me living right there, there was going to be a lot of these little round things sticking out.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Keep coming.
Excellent.
I have the right to bear arms.
So that's good that you handed that off, to a group they'll make it their mission now. They've made it their mission to get that done. Yeah. Now, is there any way have you looked into materials are there flags that are just unrippable? Or do flag companies make them like they have to tear so they buy new ones? I don't know. That's just an open-ended question. But have you looked into flags that are just kind of like invincible?
No. But what I did find is that on the corners of the flags, if you bend the corners in a 45 degree and you hem them up, they won't snap, and they last so much longer.
Yeah, the snapping is what does it.
The snapping, and if you look at every flag that is starting to weather, it's the ends. It's those two corners from that snapping. Well, if you relieve that corner, it won't snap. She'll just wave.
Look at that.
Look at that.
You learned something tonight.
Yeah.
An American flag flying hack by Mike Hammerman.
Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Took me about 12.
Oh, whoops, wrong one.
But you can't
took me about 12 flags to learn that. But once I did that,
well, that was very good of your boss to say, you know what, take what you got to get, do what you got to. It's very good of the American Legion to say, we'll take it off your hands, now. Well, you're still involved, but
yes,
you're not the sole proprietor of doing that. And I know your dad wasn't a young man.
No.
But he trudged his way out there. What branch of the service was he in?
Navy.
Of course he was.
Really?
Well, I mean, you're a seafaring family, my friend.
Yes, we are.
Captain Queeg.
Yeah, so it's down now, right?
Yep.
All right, and there was never any kind of thought of how can we make this permanent? How can we make this nothing like that? No, it's just okay.
Now you would be talking some serious money. There was at one time I actually had a flagpole. Okay, so how are we gonna get it out there with a helicopter? No. And the other problem
Iwo Jima.
The other problem is during storms, those rocks move.
Oh, they shift. That's right.
Yes, they do shift.
Ah.
And I've seen that year after year going out there to that spot where that pole is. Those rocks have moved. So.
And the sandbar actually shifted also over the years.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Bigger, too.
Was it the 78 it shifted? It came in. It was on Shore Drive.
It was the first Dubai you ever saw. The first man-made island.
So it's going to go up again on, you said on
probably the first week of May. We pick a tide, which it has to be low tide.
Yeah.
And we walk out there, set it, and forget it.
All right.
Knew that was
right.
coming.
You should actually, and you've done it under the radar. Like that might be something that you announce that people might want to just come out and sit and watch it happen type thing. Yeah.
We used to, and it got a little crazy with people coming out there, and it wound up being a nuisance. They were hopping up there. Hey, can you let us do our thing? So now it was more of we just picked a select 5-6 guys from the Legion, and we just go and do it.
And what post are you at? What's the American Legion post?
46.
And where is that located?
Winthrop.
Oh, okay. It's right there in Winthrop.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Didn't know we had one. Nice.
Yeah. Excellent.
We're the old hall right behind the town hall.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
our hall.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I didn't know
Now
that.
I know. Now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
You learned a lot of
the
stuff tonight.
cat's out of the bag now. Now you're going to have people showing up there. Hey.
Good.
Yep.
Is there a bar in there?
No, there isn't. That kills me.
I think it's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing. Well, listen,
Many livers were saved.
That's a great story. That's a great thing that you did. You left your mark, my friend. You've definitely left your mark because that's never going away.
No.
I don't see that ever going away. And like I said earlier, great things happen from small ideas, small talk, conversation.
Yep.
And spur of the moments are always the best, man.
Yep.
Spur of the moment things are always the best. And again, credit. I was in, let me see, when that went up, I was down here in South Florida, and I was proud all the way down here. And then I heard you did it. And that made me even proud. I know you thought I was going to joke about that. Yeah. No,
Hold on,
I
I gotta
thought it
get
was
a tissue.
great, man. I thought it was
get a
great.
tissue. It's starting to get a little sappy in here.
Well, listen, I've never talked to him about this. I was out in his boat with him last June. We never talked about it. Like, we've never had this conversation about it. And like I said, I've known you, Mike, for what, almost 50 years, right?
Highland School.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Mike, honestly, thank you for doing it. I mean, I have more stories of people from other communities talking about that, going by in their boats, who puts that flag up. That's really great. Yada, yada.
Underground.
Yeah, well, you want to stay low key. You don't want to be too famous.
Well,
you don't want to be an Instagram influencer. I mean, you could retire.
What I wanted, but after a couple years, no.
They say, I'm sorry, Todd, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
They say that when you die, before you take your last breath, are you happy with your life? Did you accomplish something with your life? And my friend, you certainly did. And your dad. God bless him too.
And thank you for your service, both of you.
Nah, no problem.
Doing what others can do.
Absolutely.
Can't do, won't do, don't do.
Well, all right, my friend.
Thank you, Michael,
for coming on. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
You know what? All right, so the next time it goes up, maybe just kind of come on and, we'll kind of talk about it again. Tell us the process of how it went up this year, because it seems to shift every year. Something changes.
Maybe there'll be a good story.
Yeah. Walking through plovers.
We're going to stop on that. We're going to stop on that note.
Just be live filming. Just be filming. Keep the camera rolling.
That's it. Hey, buddy, listen, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Happy holidays.
And tell your wonderful girlfriend.
Sir. Have a great one.
Tell your wonderful girlfriend I said hello. And absolutely. And I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
You got it.
All right.
Take care.
That was a great story.
Good work, dude.
That was a great story. I mean, again, I've never talked to him about that. And,
Wendy Milan, friend of the show, tells us it's Herman Street.
Yes.
Thank you,
on
Wendy.
Herman Street.
Nice to see you again.
Yep, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. I'm really glad that he came on. It took me too long to remember to do that.
It was originally your idea, yes. Yes. And
I also, but you got him in last minute, like, hey.
I called, like I said, I called in a friend favor.
I'll say you did. Well, listen, I texted you earlier. We sent to my address, got a card today, actually a couple days ago, from the Cross family. And for those who don't remember, those are the folks that own the house near the 5 Fremont Street project. I believe they're, never mind. I'm not going to put their address out there even if I knew it.
It's right next to it.
But it's right next to the project. They sent us a card and a note. And first, just a typed up note, signed by James Cross.
Yeah.
Fran Cross, excuse me.
Okay.
A note of heartfelt thanks for your big part in helping to resolve our problem. Without your part in making the situation public, we would have been lost. We can never thank you enough. I did send letters to the town hall, to the town manager, and Jim Lettieri regarding the problem, but never received an answer, and the building continued. I will not even address the rumors that we had received a large check from the property owners. Please keep up the good work, and thank you again.
Beautiful. Well, we're more than welcome.
You are much more than welcome.
Yes.
And we extend. Todd and Scott, the card, nice card.
All right.
You made such a difference. It is so deeply appreciated, the Cross family. I have to say that I wanted to call them out and thank them too, because I mean, this is a thankless thing. Sometimes and it can be negative and terrible. So this is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice. It is nice, and there are people that like what we do. There's people that don't like what we do, but we're not here to please everybody. Sometimes we can be controversial. Sometimes we pick up the gauntlet and help people like the Cross family, and the people that live on Shore Drive. Right.
That's right.
I think we moved the needle on that and getting that monstrosity stopped,
I think we may have spawned. There may be a future battle between the tree people and the bike lane people.
Well, that's an interesting. It's an interesting conversation. It's something that's factual. I mean, look at, you can't stick up for one tree and ignore 7.
No. My latest count, by the way, is 9. You can't, right?
Yeah.
You get 9 potential trees. I mean,
so I wonder if they could somehow, through a conservation act or something, or conservation lawyer, I don't know, just
Scott,
shooting off the top of my head to put a stop to this for a minute. You know,
I look, everyone, they keep telling me, I talk to the people on the council and they say, look, we're told there's nothing we can do about it. If you want the money, and I have to call BS. I don't think anybody wants a court fight. And certainly we can take, our town lawyers can take it to court. I mean,
how much money is the town getting? I mean, is there going to be
earmarked
extra money?
We're not really getting anything. We're getting money it's earmarked. It's being spent. It's $6 million and change, I guess, something along there,
to have a quarter of a mile of a bike lane.
Well, and underneath, all the infrastructure that's leaded will be de-leaded, et cetera, et cetera. All the water lines that are leaded, et cetera.
Right. Oh,
I mean, it's a worthwhile project, but the problem always is when you start taking the money, it comes with handcuffs.
Oh, it's just like a bill.
Is a ridiculous handcuff. I don't want to get lost on it, but you get.
No, you're right. It's just like a bill that passes through Congress. Oh yeah, we've signed the Keep America Safe Act, but along with it, there's a lot of pork. Each senator, each congressman that signed that got something for their, not pocket, but their districts and stuff like so. That's an interesting twist. I didn't think that deep into it, because Winthrop would never be able to afford to change those pipes.
No, but with my understanding, well, I know years ago, like we used to run our own welfare. The feds would give the state block grants, and the state would give the communities block grants. I thought we got block grants. Why can't we go back to that? And if we didn't have that, let's have it. Let us chart our own course. Just give us money and don't tell us what to do with it.
Ooh, that's like giving them a blank check, though, because I know it's not, because you'll have a fixed amount of money.
It's limited. It's finite. Yeah. But
But you've seen enough things.
It comes with handcuffs now. Now we have a bike lane that we're going to have to maintain, or not, which it's not. I mean, you think let's say they put some trees back in these bike lanes, right? Let's say we come to a nice compromise and there's some beautiful trees there. We do not, and this is not a knock on anybody, we don't have a tree program. If we need new trees, it comes to volunteers and fundraising and helping and pitching in. So now we're going to have this nice, beautiful bike lanes until we don't have nice, beautiful bike lanes. And then we're not going to have the money to maintain the bike lanes. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it's as far as that goes, it's a one shot, and then the rest is up to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not a big expense per se. It's cutting. If they put the grass strip back, I mean, they're taking away green space. I don't think they're putting the grass strip back. I know a grass strip is tiny green space, but if one tree matters, then every grass strip matters. I'd like to know where the tree people are on this one. They said they were going to investigate too, but we've heard nothing from them.
So now I know mostly you had a problem with the tree people as far as that situation over on what street is it?
Somerset.
On Somerset, right?
Yep.
So that's still in the process of getting resolved, I take it, right? Or is that
actually no? That's a great question, because I was just talking about it over coffee with Father Walter, and I caught up with the town manager, and there's some action that needs to be taken from the CDICR in order for the process to move forward. So
what does that stand for?
The Commission for Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations. They're going to do something.
Okay.
they're
Well,
going to
listen,
take some action.
they all agree on it then.
Yeah, they do.
And they all agree on it. You know.
I think it's a good thing.
So I wonder if in the interest of just knowledge, public knowledge, if somebody from the tree group would come on, because on this, we're on the same team, right? We're on the same team. I think you agree that I agree that the trees are an issue.
Yeah.
If it's not an issue in one part of town, if it's an issue in one part, it should be an issue throughout, right?
Agreed.
So maybe they could come on and we could probably get somebody, or maybe get somebody that could give us an idea of what they think and what plan of action they might want to take. Hey, listen, come on, you can, you get people to follow you.
Well, yeah, and you can air your grievances about these trees and maybe put some ideas out there that are not being heard. I mean, I think one of the big misconceptions that's out there with some of these folks that want to save all these big old maple trees is that they're going to get that they're going to last long enough to be meaningful. Eventually, these have to come down, and they're not going to be replaced with similar trees.
Yeah.
At least not on the streets. I mean, people want to grow a big maple, silver maple, that like that. If they want to grow a big tree like that, they're going to have to do it on their land.
Yeah.
And then that comes with its own,
yeah,
fun.
Well, Kurt Millar, friend of the show, where's the money coming from to maintain it all after the project is done? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to come in and say that needs to be fixed? Like this needs to be repainted? Are they going to and then the town is now on the hook for that?
It's coming out of the maintenance budget for our physical plants. That's where it always comes from.
Like repainting the bike lane?
I mean, do you remember, Scott, years ago, you could get a summer job in Winthrop as a high school kid painting fire hydrants?
I was on the town. I was on the town department. I was
right.
They would drop us off
department.
And it was Cedar. It was a Cedar job.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you were a Cedar. Okay.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. I was with Cedar. They call us Cedar Bleeders. Right. And they would drop us off in empty lots because now when there was empty lots in Winthrop.
Yep.
And they'd drop us off in the morning. We'd be chopping glass, old school, with that sickle like the golf club.
Look like a golf club. Got teeth on both sides of it.
Yeah, we'd be cutting the grass. They'd come get us for lunch. They'd bring us back. We'd finish up. And that was the job for the day. It was all summer long. Some days were harder than others, but yeah. And painting fire hydrants.
They was the fire hydrant painters in the town department too. Yep. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Back, like I said, when Winthrop did have open lots.
Wow. Yeah.
So somebody sent me, let's see, it's kind of a talking points about the zoning board, who are they? The zoning board of appeals. Yeah. And bed and breakfast permits and transient lodging. Right. So they sent me some talking points that said the Winthrop Zoning Board of Appeals issued its first bed and breakfast special permit back in 2016. At the time, the new ordinance was designed to specifically address the growing number of people renting out rooms through the online service Airbnb. Right. The ordinance allows property owners to rent rooms in their homes. The renting of rooms in a home is tantamount to operating a rooming house. How many bed and breakfast special permits have been issued? Do you know in Winthrop since 2016?
Well, Kurt probably knows better than I do because he has a better memory than I do. We actually discussed this as part of the ORC, Ordinance Review Committee. We ended up deeming it something that was just kind of out of our scope because it's more about enforcement and rules and ordinance. But no, I don't know, but I can tell you this. We are grossly under permitted, right? There are a lot of illegal Airbnbs. We had uh, someone come to one of our meetings. Oh, Kurt Millar, friend of the show. I believe there are only 10 right now.
That's on the
10,
books.
10 on the books, but there's a lot more that aren't.
Now, is that a bed and breakfast? That he's talking about 10 Airbnbs.
And Airbnb.
I find that hard to believe that there's only 10.
Oh no, there's way more. There's way more. They're just not legit. They're not getting. And there's one over here on Birch Road, right around the corner from me. The guy came to one of our meetings screeching, and you kind of can't blame him because apparently he's doing the right thing. He's pulling his permits. He's getting the inspections. I mean, this kind of goes to Scott Lerner. You know, earlier you posted on the group page. You know, is there anything anyone want to talk about? And this goes to the issue of money, because there are some taxes and fees to be collected. So it is an area of being able to raise money for the community. But it's like anything else. As you do things to increase your town's revenue, you increase your town's expenses. So it's a very marginal. It's never going to be a big enough increase anyway, because it all goes back to the way the town manages its money. We can talk about that, you know, as we if and when we tighten up this conversation.
Well, that's what Kurt said. It's transient lodging.
Yeah,
it's considered, right?
Yeah, that's the name of the ordinance, I believe.
So, how? I mean, we're not here to solve the problem. We can.
You can't
address it. There has to be a way. Hey, listen, all you have to do is go on Airbnb and type in Winthrop, Massachusetts. That's why I know I've used at least 3 of them.
Well, we know what the town has to do actually is start booking rooms and busting them.
They don't even have to book them. They just go and they make a reservation. If the reservation is accepted, then there you go.
It's
that easy.
If that makes the legal requirements, someone should be doing that. Now, I don't know.
And now through Airbnb, I don't know if Airbnb has to, that you have to be Airbnb certified. So Airbnb has their process, right?
Yeah.
Sure, they don't get mixed up in local politics because they're all over the country, you know. They're all over the world, actually, now.
Yeah.
But how would that be enforced? How would that, like, who is responsible for enforcing this? Is it a law like the police? Is it do we have a
inspectional services, I believe, right? Has to deal with all the permits and ensuring that the facilities are up to code or compliance with whatever the permits call for. Yeah, inspectional
services.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that you go out, you give them a chance. Say you either go legal or you're done. You don't just shut them down, right? You say, now they have to get a permit from the town, correct? And
they do.
It's a little, it's not a lot, but it's a revenue stream.
Well,
right?
There's also a hotel room tax, I believe, that you're supposed to be able to collect.
So the gentleman that came and was screaming that he's doing the right thing and he's paying his dues, while there's 27 other Airbnbs in Winthrop that are illegal, they're not paying a dime. They just have a nice spot, right?
They do.
So inspectional services, if I was the town manager, I'd be like, that's now we have a revenue stream. Go find.
Well, we're
people.
certainly bearing the expense because you do get. Listen, if you're living next to one of these places, okay, and the access to the Airbnb is between 2 units, and so you're walking down like a little alley or something or whatever it is, getting to your place, and someone's sitting in their living room and they got people walking by that are strangers. They don't, police get more calls. There is a cost to having these businesses.
Cause and effect. It's cause and effect.
There's unintended consequences, right? Like,
yeah,
there are things that happen. So, but it's the enforcement part. Really, it's difficult. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I believe anymore, because I do believe the town hall is understaffed. I do believe there's a lot of people that look. Let's face it. people, everybody's human, right? You're going to work every day, same every day, every day. Every day you're getting yelled at. Every day you're working hard and doing that, and you feel like you're underpaid. And the guy next to you sitting around doing nothing, and he's making the same wage as you. I don't care what anyone says. That kind of stuff slows everybody down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I mean, I think it's something that we can continue to look into. I think Kurt is always a good investigator.
He's all over this.
He's a good
but
investigator.
He's all over. So here's, I got to say this for Kurt.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, and he's calling in. So he's going to say it for himself.
Let's see if it connects. Let me see. It's not connecting. Hold on. I knew this was going to happen. Hold on.
Am I feedbacking?
See. Did I just lose him?
Sorry, Kurt. We are. The production quality is not too great today.
No, I don't know what's going on. Let me unplug it from here. Hold on.
Oh,
it's always something, man.
Oh, he's back. He's not quitting.
Why it's not catching on?
Oh, he's back. He's not quitting.
Are you there?
I'm here.
It worked.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, chiming in on this Airbnb thing.
Kurt Millar, friend of the show. Kurt Millar, friend of the show.
Todd, I don't know if you remember when the gentleman came in and was talking about that.
Yeah, I just mentioned it earlier. Yeah.
He wanted to change it also so that the owner does not have to live there.
Right.
Because he wants the ordinances rewritten.
Yeah.
And that's an Airbnb thing. I've been to houses. I've stayed at houses. Airbnb, big freaking houses, right? And that's an investment property for them. It's a business.
We have in Winthrop, we have the requirement that the owner lives in the house. And if it were to be separate units, it's still required the owner has to live in that house.
Right.
And on top of that, we are missing out on taxes. To gain from it, because our tax code isn't done the right way for it.
Well,
so that needs to be changed, and we can start collecting it.
It's twofold. We're not collecting the right taxes, and we're not collecting the right fees because we're not able to enforce. And that's the big question. I forget, Kurt. What are the big, like the top 3 challenges we talked about with regard to the issue of enforcement? Do you remember?
The explanation is that can inspectional services actually do it? So do we have someone to pay to sit there and go through Airbnb? Do we have the manpower to go around to each one of these units and actually check them out?
So it doesn't have to be it's a project. It's not necessarily paying an employee to do this. It's like a task force, right? You can get people. It doesn't have to be inspectional services that does the research and says, hey, there's an Airbnb on Locust Way. There's an Airbnb on Pearl Ave. There's an Airbnb on Taft's Ave. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be. And so then you say, okay, who's in charge of checking this out? So then you get one of the inspectional guys just doing his job, right? You don't. And then once you get everybody on board, once you find then the task force kind of gets disbanded. And now you have everybody in line, and you check it like every 6 months. You know, I don't. I mean,
it's feasible and possible. It's the town manager does have to step in, and because he's the boss of the inspectional service.
Yeah. So I mean, again, you could get somebody, from the police department to just do a quick, just print out. Even the guy inspections can print out. Then you go visit. You do an inspection. Say, do you have an Airbnb here? And if they lie, well, then now they're really on the hook.
Well, then there's also the other changes that were requested is that they want to have the opportunity to be able to cook in rooms. per se, like have a microwave.
Yeah,
Then you start getting into fire codes and electrical upgrades and all that on top of it.
Yeah, if you're building a kitchen in your basement, you're looking for problems. If you Airbnb a condo, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
You know, but I've never been to like we went to Juniper Beach a couple weekends ago, and we got an Airbnb, and it's basically attached to the house. Nice, beautiful place. There's no kitchen. You don't need a kitchen if you're in an Airbnb. So if they're trying to put a kitchen in there, they're asking for problems.
Think about this. When you go to an Airbnb, how much stuff do you take when you leave? Just your clothes basically on your back, right?
Yeah, just what you came with. Yeah.
Just
what about all your food waste, your trash? You don't take that with you, right?
Oh,
no, but usually when you go to an Airbnb, there's instructions. They'll say, okay, leave the trash bag, blah, blah, blah. Or there's a dumpster over here. Please throw it in the dumpster.
I know where he's going though, Scott.
Yeah. And you just start adding to the trash. But Airbnb people, though, for the most part, they're only there for 2 days, 3 days. They're not buying groceries at Stop and Shop and stocking up on, gallons of milk. And then when they leave, there's a giant trash bag full of trash.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
It's a business. And in our town, the way the trash is, a business is supposed to provide for their own trash. You're not supposed to use the same trash as regular everyday citizens from their house.
If the guy takes the trash up to his apartment and then walks out of his door, that's his trash. I think we're really, that's kind of getting.
Well, at the end of the day, Scott, it's volume, and if you multiply it over X number of homes, and it's because it's not these aren't like your Florida Airbnbs, right? Like I've stayed in the ones in Florida. That's where I stay when I come down to Lauderdale by the sea. It's just us. These people are living amongst the owners of the homes. They're just getting a room and maybe a little bit of kitchen access, whereas we have the whole joint, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but they are adding to the volume of trash. They're flushing the toilet more and using more water, which that's not necessarily a town-wide problem.
That's on the owner.
It's supposed to be, but if he doesn't pay his bill, it gets absorbed into the general pool, and we're all eating it. So there is this.
Doesn't somebody get their water shut off if they don't pay the bill?
Yeah, but you still got to pay what's outstanding.
Right.
By the way, just a quick side note. This just popped up on my Facebook feed. Kirstie Alley passed away today, 71 years old.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man.
Wow.
If you ever get to watch that show, Fat Actress, okay? She had it it was 2 seasons. And it was one of those kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm, like the camera follows her around type thing.
Yeah.
That woman she was effing funny as hell, man. From Cheers to that, dude, because she actually, Fat Actress was one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. I think it was on 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But sorry to hear that.
Yeah, God rest her soul. Anyway.
80s hottie.
That's right.
Okay, back to the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Well, then, talking about, here's the other thing. How many Airbnbs should we allow in town before it really starts affecting the neighborhoods?
So can you put a limit on them, though? That's the thing.
You can put a limit on anything.
Okay.
We can, yeah. The town
so
can.
You permit what a percentage of, I don't know.
It's a tricky
50.
Tricky topic. I don't love
25. If you're lucky to be in that lottery and you get your 25, you're in the top 25 Airbnbs. Then when somebody closes up, there's somebody waiting to take it.
Got to get better at shutting down the illegal ones first before you want to, because there's no incentive for people to pay when they know there's a lot of people not paying.
And so
this guy on Birch Road should have kept his mouth shut and said, you know what, I'm not going to pay anymore. I mean, I shouldn't say.
Well, he's doing the right thing.
He is. He's doing the God bless him.
The right thing.
But he's being punished for doing the right thing. It's it's weird.
And I think people should be able to just use their house as an Airbnb. It's somebody's occupying it. It's not and remember now, Airbnb, they have the right to deny people. If you don't have a good Airbnb rating, you're not most people won't take you. You got to go to the lower level Airbnbs, right? Where it's literally a garage door that you open to go in. Right.
Sleeping with the truck.
I'm assuming if somebody has a house in Winthrop and it's up by the beach, it's probably in really nice shape. It has to meet Airbnb standards. And you get to screen the person that's going to be there. You know, it's always no parties. No, you know, there's rules that go with it. So I personally don't see a problem with that. But first, like you said, Todd, I think finding the illegal ones, which isn't easy, it's a printout. Maybe next Monday I'll have a list of illegal Airbnbs. We'll dox them. No, I don't want to, because we don't know which one's legal, which one's isn't.
Oh, wait, how many of them are my friends?
I don't need a lawsuit. I don't need someone trying to sue me. I dox them. Yeah, well, what do you think, Kurt?
It's a quick, easy find by going not just on Airbnb. I mean, there's others.
Yeah, and
that's the problem too. Is there's many others, and they can be gone for a day and then pop right back on again.
And it's easy to just every day, every other day, once a week, you just,
slippery little suckers.
Yeah, you just type in Airbnbs in Winthrop, Mass. 02152, and I can do it on my phone right now. I guarantee you, 20 are going to pop up. I've tried to get one, and they're all sold out in Winthrop.
What, an Airbnb?
Yeah, in the summer.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt. Do we have a new, planning board chairperson yet?
I haven't heard anything about that yet. I know they were looking for one.
Okay.
Right.
What about you?
Me? Yeah. I don't have enough knowledge for the planning board. Honestly, I don't.
Okay.
Well, we gotta find Kurt a spot somewhere. We gotta put him somewhere. We need an insider.
It's coming.
We need an insider.
Something's bubbling. Something's brewing.
Well, we know he's going to be running for the town council. We know that. So that's next year. That's next year.
It's going to come quick.
So next year is the vote on no?
It has to go before the state first. The people won't get to decide on, are you talking about actual people being able to vote on the proposals?
Yeah.
We won't see it, I don't think, until the 25 election.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got to go before the state. It's a haul. It's a haul, dude. I mean,
what were these people so afraid of if they knew it wasn't going to be until 2025? Or did they not know and they were still trying to oppose it?
Bottom line, Scott, is because I'm involved.
It's like, man,
I'm involved.
You are a lightning rod, my friend. You are a lightning rod.
Yeah, I know.
You are polarizing. You're a polarizing character. Hey, how's Father Walter doing, by the way?
I wish he'd chime in because I know he's watching.
How's he doing? Is he doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Next time I go up there, I got to have coffee with you guys.
You do. You have to, because he'll tell you the story. The first time I picked him up, he was a little uneasy getting into my truck. now he makes fun of me. He shits on me like everyone else does.
Excellent. All right, Kurt, buddy. Thank you once again. Your input is always appreciated.
Thanks. All right, you guys. Take care.
All right, my friend.
See you later.
Bye.
See, the phone hasn't been used in a while, so it kind of was like, I'm not going to work for you.
Wow, you had to pull the dust off the phone.
I had to unplug it and plug it back in.
You were looking for Ma Bell. Hello, number 9.
Yeah. Let me cover something. One more topic. We got a little time. We're over an hour, but it doesn't matter. So I had posted today. Any topics you want us to talk about? So it said, the town needs money. So how do we generate it without increasing taxes, water bills, etc.? Well, that is kind of that's the magic question, right? How do you generate money? And so, friend of the show, Marianne Sampson Nicoletti, says, cut back on unnecessary town employees. I think they're pretty short on employees, aren't they? Or some departments are, some aren't.
It depends. Yeah, the police, I don't believe, or the fire departments are not at state safety recommended levels, is my understanding. I could be wrong on one of the two, but there are definitely issues within both departments in terms of equipment. But the police don't have body cams. It's not in the budget right now.
Yeah. That, unnecessary town employees making outrageous salaries for a town of 19,000 people. I had to call City Hall systems regarding parking stickers. When you look at the list of services, it's unbelievable as to what is listed. So why are we paying for a system when there are employees in these departments for the town? And she put on a list of services. And let me see. Somebody said, easy, start enforcement of traffic violations. Ticket for every stop sign violation at Shirley Street could fund the national debt.
What on what?
That's evidently somebody lives on that corner or around that corner, and they work there and they see it all the time. People do run that sign over at
I
the
agree
High
with
Tide.
You. Yeah, of course. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Not me though. I'm always a traffic obeyer. Traffic law obeyer.
You know, the at the end of the day, people can squawk all they want about Winthrop doesn't have enough money, this town doesn't have enough money, we need to have more overrides, whatever. That's really not the debate, because we know what the money is. That's a separate argument. Okay, we don't have enough. Okay, that's a separate argument. We don't have to continually take the budget that we know we have and spend against this budget in areas that in salaries. Like, I know I'm going to get my Standini's kicked in for this, and it's a very complex conversation, but that's where the biggest problems are. Here's why. And I'm not calling any one individual person out. This is just general kind of business knowledge. When it comes to an employee, every employee has something called utility. What is their value to the organization? How much is that position worth? How much productivity? Whatever it is, there's an actual number associated with it. I don't know if municipal governments use these tools, but it still exists. And when you have, so I'm going to use teaching as an example. You have a kindergarten teacher and a physics teacher. Both have the same level, years of education, years of service. They make the same money. But this person over here that goes for physics is spending an awful lot more money to get their education, because they want to, they're teaching advanced physics and the like. And by the way, these teachers are harder to come by because not a lot of folks want to spend the money to get this education to go into teaching. Because teaching,
my stepson teaches physics, actually.
Okay, and so he could tell you that, right?
He got hired real fast.
Of course. And look, this isn't a knock against kindergarten teachers. It's two different skill sets. It's two completely different things. There's plenty of these teachers down here, yet there's no that's inefficient. That is super inefficient. It brings everything down to the lowest common denominator, and it's a budget killer. So until you solve that problem, I honestly think people who turn around and say you should pay more in taxes, I think anyone in government that turns around and says that to the taxpayers is insulting us, because you are standing by allowing inefficiency in your town budget, in your payroll. There's no good reason to pay these types of people. We need more physics teachers. We don't need more kindergarten teachers. And I'm just picking on one. It's all the lower grade teachers. It's a different skill set altogether.
My brother told me today, Estonia, the country of Estonia, has higher math scores than the USA.
That leads me to the other issue.
But let's put a book in the second grade
getting off topic,
resources.
We're off, but on top. It all kind of is linked together, right? Like, we've lost our priorities. I've said this to members of the school committee. We used to have language. Okay, so you'd come into, when I was in 6th grade, I had to start languages. We were forced to take a language, and we could choose from French, Spanish, and Italian. Oh, no, French, Spanish, and one other. I chose French. Don't know why, whatever. By the time I got to high school, it was Italian and Spanish. Now you get Spanish from elementary, so 4 through 3 through 5, and then not again till high school. It's not available. It's not in the budget. But we have plenty of political activism, ally boards, books, right? Books in first grade resource areas. We have lost our focus. School has become the buildings that these are in a money printing machines for Democrat candidates is what they are.
Yeah. Well,
I hate to go off topic there, but
it's all right. You touched
true.
on it. Well, this was episode 64, and the principal at the Winthrop Middle School is still the worst principal in the history of the Winthrop school system. And he will continue to be. And we're not done with that, by the way. We still want to find out who wrote the dress code and how that passed for the middle school.
I'm waiting to get. I'm gonna get a copy of that. Because I want to know who wrote that.
If people just maybe hadn't heard our conversation about it in the past, the dress code for the middle school is absolutely out of control. Like these kids can wear whatever they want. But when you go to high school, it's the same building, separated by a door. They're kind of have a regular standard dress code. Oh, we just lost some viewers. They must not like that topic. Yeah. But still, the middle school has to stay on the radar, man. They have to stay on our radar. And like, what were you saying? You're waiting to find out?
Oh yeah. I want to get my hands on the policy, like who wrote it, when, the dates it was written, when it was submitted, how it got through what the process was, who was involved.
They can't hide that, right? No. It's a public school, right?
Public information. So
it's public information. They can't sit on this. They can't. It has to come out eventually. I mean, why don't we just call this one? Why don't we just get in touch with the superintendent and say, hey, how do we get a copy of that? How do we get the process?
I got to run
how this came about.
I got to get a FOIA request going.
Absolutely. Because they now, if that principal said that no teacher was involved in writing that, and we find out there was a teacher writing that, then he lied. His integrity is out the window.
That's right. 100%.
Absolutely. His integrity is out the window. The lie is sometimes bigger than the problem.
It's true.
So we're on that. Again, the principal at the Winthrop Middle School is the worst principal in the history of the Winthrop school system. That's I'm going to say it every show.
All right.
Say it every show. All right, buddy. Want to take us out?
It's the end. It's the end.
This is the end.
This is the end. I don't even. Maybe we should change up the way out, right? Like I don't know what's pithy to say at this point.
I don't know.
Bring it local, kids. Bring it local.
Yeah, well, all politics. Local. What is it? All politics.
It's somewhere at the local level. That's where it begins and ends and starts and goes.
And like I always say, thank you for watching. If you like it, share it. Tell your friends about it. If you don't like us, well, thanks for watching this long. Appreciate that. Doing this show for you, according to me and Todd, the pleasure, the privilege is ours. We hope we're serving a purpose. I know we cause some trouble sometimes. I know we rant sometimes, but in the end, we have stories like the Cross family that we're grateful for our support, and we're grateful for the people that help support them, our viewers. So with that, buddy, next Monday night.
We'll see you then. Take care.